All right, we were up late last night. We went live after the game. If that's not something you usually do, if you after the game is done and you're just kind of sitting around wondering what to watch, me and Chris are usually going live after the games. I wouldn't say we're going to be 17 of 17 or 18 of 18 or 19 or 20. All right, see what I did there? Playoffs. All right, we were live, so if you haven't checked that out, go back, check it out. It's last night's video. Post-game reaction, all that kind of good stuff. But in this video, I want to talk about why the Lions' victory was actually even better than we thought. And I have three kind of reasons. I have three reasons for it. And I absolutely want to talk about them. So let's just kind of go in order. And a couple are players. One, I have more than three reasons, actually. But it's even better than we initially thought. Number one, this was a revenge game. This was a revenge game for the Rams. Matthew Stafford came out clearly on a mission. The Rams' defense was clearly on a mission to prove not only that they could beat us because we are the team that knocked them out. We ended their season last year at Ford Field in the same place. So it's not easy to win that game and then come back the next year and win it again. These are the kind of things that the Chiefs do. They keep beating the Ravens, by the way, right? Like there are revenge games here. That's what this was. It's not just Stafford coming back to Detroit. It's an entire team coming back to Detroit after we ended their season. They weren't happy about that. And the Rams were a team that really did truly think that they had a chance to win the Super Bowl last year. And I honestly don't think they're that wrong. All right, so if they had beaten us, I see them beating the Bucs, and who knows what happens with the Niners. They play each other 2-3 times a year. All right, so it was a revenge game, yet somehow we looked as up to the competition level and up to the enthusiasm level, excitement level, whatever you want to call it. We were just as excited to be there. We were just as fired up. We were running around just as much crazily as they were. And that's what I think's amazing. In the very first possession, we set the tone with a 3-and-out for them. All right? Our players were absolutely flying around. Absolutely flying around. So that is reason number one that I think this was a win that was even better than you thought, because we actually stepped up to it. All right, reason number two, we had a breakout game. We had a breakout game for a player we have been waiting for multiple years to have a breakout game, and that is one Jameson Williams. All right, Jameson Williams in this game, you can see he had 5 catches for 121 yards. The biggest one of those was exactly what you're hoping from him. It was a 52-yarder, all right, and that resulted in a touchdown. Jameson was really good outside of the one play in the fourth quarter when he should have cut up. Stop running outside, cut up. All right. Anyways, it's easy to say watching it from the side on TV that he should have cut up. It's easy to say that. It's a lot harder to actually produce that when you're playing in the game. But Jameson Williams adds a completely different dimension to this offense. And let me explain what I mean by that. We all talk about wanting a deep threat. And we didn't have a real one. Basically, he was a decoy last year. He always ran the deep route, stuff like that. But now, when the Rams do what they did against St. Brown, which is basically bracket him no matter where he was on the field. All right? No matter where he was on the field, he was bracketed. And he was double covered or whatever that looks like. That's why he got 6 targets and only 3 catches for 13 yards. He could not get loose. But if you're going to bracket someone, that means everybody else is going to be in single coverage. And Jameson Williams says, good luck with that. All right. He beat, was it White, the defensive back for the Rams so badly. I mean, so badly. Yeah, Tre'Davious White. All right. That he held him. He had pass interference, illegal contact, whatever it was. Jameson Williams still beat him over the top, like wide open. All right. With a really good route. Scored a touchdown even when he interfered. At that point, you probably should have just tackled him, because at that point, like, that's about the only thing you're going to do to stop it. And by the way, was it a back shoulder throw by Goff? Yep. Should have been. Nope, but still a good deep ball. And Goff proved that he has the arm to throw the ball downfield to get it to Jameson Williams. So now you have to decide. Pick your poison. Is it going to be St. Brown? Is it going to be J-Mo? Is it going to be Laporta? Like, you can't cover all these guys. It's not possible. And then when we were struggling in the third quarter and we needed to get some life into this offense, it was a J-Mo crosser that he ended up taking for like 37 yards. And then right after that, it was a screen pass to Jahmyr Gibbs, which he took for like 20. We get it to guys who have speed in space. And everybody's like, oh, we don't have a mobile quarterback. Oh, Jared Goff's not a mobile quarterback. It doesn't matter because we have so much talent around him. We can get it to them in space. And instead of him looking around and then running for it, what he instead can do is he can get it into those playmakers' hands quickly. And those are the kind of plays that you call. So is it always as good? No. But I also don't know a quarterback who's extremely mobile that's as good out of the pocket as Jared Goff is when the pocket's clean. All right. Third reason this was even better than we thought. All right. We didn't play great on offense. The team kind of felt stuck in not neutral. I'm not even going to say first gear. I'm going to say second gear because there were times that we were rolling at a pretty good speed, but it's like, man, it really took us a long time to get in there. You know how sometimes maybe you should have shifted down to first gear if you can drive if you can drive a manual stick shift, but you went into second just to say, I don't want to go back into first, and you release the clutch and you're pushing in the gas, right? That's what our offense felt like. But still, by the end of the night, we had worn down on them enough that when overtime came, and we were 50-50 split, really almost going into overtime, we're almost an exact 50-50 split pass to run plays, David Montgomery was able to just run wild in the overtime period, and we were able to exert our will. The offensive line came together, and I think now all of a sudden we have an offense that's going to be very, very confident. So let's look at good news, and even better than we thought, by not just looking at the Lions, because we play in a division that other teams play too, right? So let's look at what was going on around the NFL in other areas in the NFC North. And one of them was Caleb Williams looking like garbage. I'm not the kind of guy who likes to talk bad about other teams or other players. The fact is, he didn't look good. Under 50% completion percentage. He looked lost at times. He threw balls that were inadvisable at times. He tried to get away from sacks and tried to, scramble himself out of stuff. So his 2 sacks weren't like 2 sacks for 10 yards. They were 2 sacks for 29 yards. Like when he took the sacks that he took, they were huge losses, drive killers. The Bears did not score one offensive touchdown. All right. The Titans are not a defensive juggernaut. They're just not. So I'm not sitting here, and I think that's weird. Now, another thing I don't like talking crap about players when they don't do well. By the way, Caleb actually handled it really well in the press conference afterward. Kind of surprised by that. Not happy about it, but he did handle it well. I'm also not a guy who says injuries are good news. But Jordan Love, all right, did what they believed to be a sprained MCL. It looked worse than that. If you watch the slow-mo replays, it looks like his knee is there and just kind of goes, kind of bounces back, and it makes you worry that it could be an ACL. It really does. But I hope it's not, right? I want good competition here. But these 3 games, Indianapolis, Tennessee, Minnesota, 3 games that you really definitely thought the Packers would win. Now all of a sudden, toss-up. And if we're sitting here 4 games into the season and all of a sudden the Packers are 1-3 or 0-4, even if Jordan Love comes back, they're almost out of the race for the NFC North. They're almost out of the race because it's not even their best competition that they played. The hardest part of their schedule is still going to happen later in the season. So, those are all kind of good news. I can't give you any good news from Minnesota. Sam Darnold looked absolutely fantastic. Their defense looked great, but the Giants' offense will make a lot of defenses look great. The only thing I'm excited about is, I would be excited. I wish we got to play them. That's the nice thing about a last place schedule. So anyways, there you go. That's kind of why the game was even better than you thought. Stick around this week for more breakdowns, some injury updates, and things like that going into next week's game against another team that we ended their season. Will we be able to get back up for that game as well as we're just sitting as a normal, I believe, 1:00 game? All right. Thank you so much for watching. As always, it was really fun to watch everybody as we were going live. Last night, a bunch of people popped on after the game, a lot of subscribers, things like that. Really appreciate the community that we've built here at Sports Talk Detroit. Thankful for all of you. So keep watching. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Go Lions. See ya.